Good afternoon, Vikings fans. This is your boy Justin. This is for days, and for days we've been talking about clinching this division, about going into Detroit and putting the Kitties out of their miseries. And for the next 5 days, anyway, we're going to talk about how gutless and pathetic everybody not named Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson were. Okay, other pieces to the offense too, but oh my, how pathetically delicious it was if you're a Lions fan. And heck, you know what? We take deliciousness in the Packers and Bears losing, so they can say it was delicious for them too. But I'm going to say this right now. As awful as that defense was, as pathetic as that performance was and has been for basically the last 5 weeks, the defense was still only the second biggest reason they lost this game today. Post-game reaction right after this. All right, now listen. I am in no way ever going to try and defend that defensive performance. I am not going to try to defend Ed Donatel. I am not going to listen to any excuses about not having Harrison Smith play today. I'm sorry. Anybody who doesn't get it. That defense was pathetic. That defense, yes, it got put into a bind a couple of times with the Vikings deciding to go for it on fourth down in their own territory and ultimately failing to convert. Okay, that's one thing. But I'm going to tell this right now. The biggest reason the Vikings lost this game is head coach Kevin O'Connell. Oh, sure. Go ahead and talk all you want about this defense giving up 463 yards. Oh, sure. Go on and talk to me about how they've given up 400 yards in the last 5 weeks. And of those 5, 4 out of the 5 have been a 450-yard performance defensively. One more time. The defense is not the Baltimore Ravens of 2000. The defense is not the Zim Reapers. The defense is what it is. And what it is a mediocre at best defense that against bad teams can survive and against good teams can occasionally make a play. But this defense is what it is. It's not getting better. Everybody want to talk about fire Ed Donatel? Yes, fire him after the season. I'm done with him. That's fine. But the system he's running requires players, and the Vikings straight up don't have them. Yes, when Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith are healthy and two-man wrecking crew, you might be able to get away with this system. Yes, when you have Patrick Peterson in his prime and Harrison Smith in his prime and up-and-comers like Cam Dantzler and Caleb Evans playing well, yeah, you could run this defense. The Vikings don't have any of that. Patrick Peterson is what he is. He's on the twilight of his career. He's got cunning and guile, but at the end of the day, he's one guy. Now, you didn't have Harrison Smith today. That's fine. There is no reason that even without Harrison Smith, you should be giving up 463 yards. Pathetic. All of that having been said, this game's on Kevin O'Connell. He outsmarted himself so many times thinking he's the smartest guy in the room that's the main reason this team lost. Listen, offensively, what did I say in the preview? I said play your game. They had done a good enough job adjusting for the weaknesses on this offensive line. Yes, I know Christian Darrisaw didn't play today. Okay. I realized that Garrett Bradbury was a game-time decision and he gets scratched. If we're going to talk about how our offensive performance was based on the fact that we didn't have Garrett Bradbury, who every Vikings fan and follower wanted to run out of town before this year, who when Kevin O'Connell in the offseason said, no, I actually think this guy's got more to it, and we all laughed at him. Sorry. We don't get to just say that, well, if we had Garrett Bradbury in there, we would have won this game. Sorry. But this offensive line got work today. The Detroit Lions run blitz pretty much on every first down. Dalvin Cook couldn't get going. It wasn't really all that much Dalvin's fault. He really had nothing he could do. At some point, you need to adjust. Now, early on, they ran some boot action, and Kirk Cousins would hit TJ Hawkinson here or there for a couple of nice catches and first downs. That's all well and good. But at some point, you can't be running on every first down play. I mean, did Gary Kubiak and Mike Zimmer come back to coach this offense today? Just saying. End of the first half, you are in the red zone. You finally have a drive that you've put together, but at the end of it, it's first and goal from the 3. Your offensive line's been getting worked all day, and you decide to do the halfback handoff, but we're going to have him jump past it to a tight end, you are asking Dalvin Cook to do way too many things and way too much thinking. He's got to hold on to the ball. He's got to stutter step. He's got to see where these guys are coming. And guess what? They were pretty much in his face as soon as he got the ball. So now he's supposed to hold his water and then eventually toss it up and over and get a touchdown pass. That was just stupid. Now, yes, he's got to hold on to the ball. At some point, he's just got to eat it and be done with it. But at the end of the day, it was a stupid idea to give him that much responsibility in the first place. Second, Adam Thielen scores a touchdown. You get back into the game. That made it 21-13. Okay, so you cut the lead in half. Maybe Greg Joseph would have missed the extra point anyway. There is no reason to go for two there. I know analytics. I know there's a place for it, and I know there's still a place in the world for the eye test. If that was the middle of the fourth quarter, yes, you go for two. You hope that you get the ball back after scoring the 2-point conversion so that you can kick the extra point to win. But going for two after scoring a touchdown when you're down 14 is predicated on the idea that you're running out of time and that you're hoping your defense doesn't give up any more points. That thought process is completely out the window when it's the middle of the third quarter and you know your defense ain't stopping anybody. It was a dumb idea to go for it in the first place. And if you didn't see the last 3 videos I've done where I have said stop doing screen passes, you decide to go for a 2-point conversion and use a screen pass? Really? Outsmarted yourself, KOC. I'm sorry. You outsmarted yourself. It's as simple as that. And at the end of the day, you completely took any momentum away from your offense and from your team by deciding to go for two there. Even if you had made it, I still would have said it wasn't worth the risk at that point in time. It just wasn't. Third and final time. Listen, I don't want to hear anybody talking to me about the referee blowing that Justin Jefferson touchdown pass that should have been dead. If at this point in the game, if you're going to be saying to yourselves, oh, well, if Justin Jefferson wasn't, if that play hadn't been blown dead and Justin Jefferson scores there, we don't have to onside kick it. And then maybe we could play different defensively, as if that would have made all that much difference. Yes, they ended up getting the stop. Why? Because Detroit knew they were already in field goal range. They didn't have to do anything. You let Penei Sewell catch a third down pass. Yeah, Patrick Peterson saw it. The rest of the defense didn't. That all being said, don't talk to me about the refs, but I digress. Kevin O'Connell, you don't onside kick there. You don't. Your defense might have gotten you a stop. Might have. And even if they give up that first down, guess what? Detroit punts the ball. And then you still have a 2% chance. But the second you onside kick it and it fails, if you don't hold them to a 3 and out, they're going to be kicking a field goal, which effectively ends the game. I'm sorry. Kevin O'Connell, love you. I'm not suggesting we bring Mike Zimmer back. Anybody who says that's an idiot. Anybody who says they'd rather have Mike Zimmer and his antiquated way of doing things versus Kevin O'Connell and Ed Donatel, I'm sorry. You don't know football. I get it. We just lost to the Lions of all teams, and we're a little embarrassed by it. We're all a little pumped up about it. But let's call it for what it is. And what it is you got embarrassed today. Your defense needs to be fixed post-haste. You've got 4 games left, 2 winnable games at home, and 2 games on the road with who the heck knows what the Packers and Bears are going to be. You're going to go to the playoffs. But if you want to do something meaningful, you better fix this defense. And Kevin O'Connell, this entire season, what you have done is made sure that the Vikings were good situationally. And today, you just straight up were not good situationally. I'm sorry. That's all there is to it. What's up, David? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Biting my tongue, listening to everybody complaining about the defense, but I'm had it with Donatel. Listen, I am not defending Ed Donatel. I'm not. Let's just be clear. I am not defending Ed Donatel whatsoever. All I am going to say is let's not pretend that this head coach is in charge of the entire team, which means at some point he can go to Ed Donatel and say, guess what? We need to do something differently. What you're doing ain't working. How do you have a receiver have 212 yards and lose? Yes. You wasted one of Kirk Cousins' best performance, definitely the best performance of the year statistically, and maybe one of his best since he's been a Viking. You had Justin Jefferson breaking all kinds of individual game records, and you still lost this game. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. I'll have more in the Monday musings tomorrow. Flip on over to the Purple Code. We got a breakdown, cast of thousands. I'll be joining them shortly, but like, comment, and subscribe. Share this. Share this disgusting mess of a game today. What in the world were you thinking? I don't know. All I know is our defense has been exposed. I mean, it already has been after 2 weeks of this. But 5? Time to go back into the doldrums. Get back into the laboratory and figure something out. Yeah, you'll beat the Colts next week. Certainly hope so. Some Christmas presents going down next week, and somebody on this podcast might be in attendance. Yeah, you'll probably beat the Colts. You'll probably beat the Giants, and you'll probably get at least one, if not two, between the Packers and Bears, because at that point it won't matter anymore. But, I called this a must-win, quote-unquote. Why? That San Francisco team that I've been talking to you about for weeks, yeah, they're only going to be a game behind us after they dispose of the GOAT that is Tom Brady. Listen, I want to thank everybody for joining me. Share this, podcast this, like, comment, and subscribe to Purple and Gold for days. Tune on over to the Purple Code, where SK is going to be breaking it down, and Cast of Thousands, I'll be joining them shortly. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Skol Vikes. Let's win this game next week. Let's show a little bit more pride than that, because that was pathetic.